So the Super Eagles manager Eric Chelle'S submitted a 19-point proposal to the Nigeria Football Federation in the course of the week, and this has caused loads of mixed reactions right now. Some persons feel that this 19-point proposal is not bad after all, that everything there is making sense. While to some other persons, they feel that there are certain outrageous demands in this particular proposal. But we'll take a look at this 19-point proposal real quick and try to analyze it a little to see if there are certainly outrageous demands in this proposal. But it is very important for you to note that the Super Eagles manager Eric Chelle'S signed a 2-year contract with the Nigeria Football Federation with an option to extend for another year to make it 3, and he was given a mandate to qualify the Super Eagles to the FIFA World Cup, which he failed. Some will tell you that it wasn't his fault. He didn't start a campaign with the Super Eagles, but don't forget, he was the one in charge of the playoff, and he was the manager in charge when we lost to DR Congo, so it is partly his fault. But away from that, he was also given a mandate to qualify the Super Eagles to at least the finals of the African Cup of Nations that just ended in Morocco. He also failed in that. We got to the semi-final, won the third place game against Egypt. So I will tell you that it wasn't his fault. The officiating wasn't so good. And of course, penalty is nobody's gain. But regardless, he failed on that mandate. Many people will just compensate themselves with the fact that, okay, we played a scintillating brand of football at the tournament. We didn't have to press calculators. We were not on pressure. We won our games convincingly, scored loads of goals. We were attacking minded. We actually had a fantastic tournament in terms of the way we played. But aside that, the results, he didn't meet up with the mandate of making it to the finals of the African Cup of Nations. But let's come back to the 19-point proposal that he made to the Nigeria Football Federation, and let's analyze it a little bit. The first thing on that list is a private car, that is SUV, with a chauffeur and a security. A private car, SUV with a driver and security. I don't think this is a big deal. On average, Nigeria has this, and even local government chairmen, they have all of this. So the manager of the Super Eagles, what is difficult in providing him with a private car, SUV, a private driver, and security? I think this should not even be on this. But anyway, I don't know if they've been doing it before now, but this is something that you can just easily do. It's not a big deal. The second thing on the list, house in a well-secured environment with 24 hours uninterrupted power supply, electricity. Okay, first of all, we don't have uninterrupted power supply in Nigeria, but it is easy for you to actually make that up. It's either you have a generator in your house or you have a solar system in your house, coupled with the band that you are in. If you're in band A or band B, or depending on where you are, that will determine the hours of electricity that you enjoy. But regardless, it is very easy to do. What is there in giving him a well-secured giving him a house in a well-secured environment? Well, is that a big deal? And having 24 hours uninterrupted power supply, I don't think that is even a big deal. The NFF, they don't even need to stress themselves in providing this for the manager. So there's nothing outrageous about this. The third thing is a furnished office with projector for analysis. See, I'm not even surprised, because normally we should have all of these things. Like, we should have a furnished office for the manager of the Super Eagles, who should have projector for analysis and everything needed. But because the way we treat football and sport in Nigeria, we treat it as if it is a joke. Sometimes when you see the press conference of the Super Eagles, the backdrop and everything, you'll be asking yourself, what is going on right here? So I am in support of this provision, furnished office with a projector for analysis. There is nothing massive about this particular thing. It is a normal thing. Even ordinary person usually have a good office in their house. Like me now, very soon now, I will build a fantastic office in my own house, you understand, where I'll be doing certain things. Number 4, internet provision. This is, I'm sorry, excuse me. Are we even meant to be talking about internet provision? So it is not a big deal. Internet provision, it is not outrageous. Flight ticket for wife and 2 children. Eric Chelle'S and wife will have business class, and then the children will have economy. Now, I have a problem with this. Yes, I have a problem with this. I don't think Eric Chelle'S should put this on the federation. Yeah, it is not the job of the federation to fly your wife and your children. You were the one that was employed, and you are the one that we are in charge of. The only way this can happen is if it's in the contract, or if they are not paying you well. But if they are paying you well enough, you need to foot your bills yourself. I don't think Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, he's been flown around with his children and family by Manchester City. I don't think so. So I think this is a bit off. The only way this can actually work is if he's not being paid well, and then he puts it into the contract that my children and my wife, you guys will take care of their flights. That is good. But apart from that, pay him well, let him take care of his own bills. The family are his problem. So you understand what I mean? So let's move on. GPS provision. This should not be a big deal for the Nigeria Football Federation. So there's nothing outrageous about GPS provision right here. Number 7, supply of proper equipment in accordance to the coach demand. If the coach demand is what he needs to make his job easier and to work well, there is nothing big about this, unless he's now telling them to give him microphone and camera. He wants to start podcast. That is a different thing. But if the equipment that he's asking for are all in accordance with his line of duty, I don't think it is a big deal, because he needs to get his job done and done properly. Number 8, based on opponent, the coach has the right of choice regarding international friendly matches. I think, okay, they should have a consensus. This should be under negotiations, with the Nigeria Football Federation. We are playing against Argentina. We are playing, okay, this is what it will do. You state your case. This is why I want us to play against this team, and what it will bring to the table. So I think this is something that can actually reach a consensus on. It's not a big deal. Number 9, camping programs. Of course, the manager should be in charge of the camping programs. It's not a big deal for me. I don't know. It's not a big deal. I don't know for you. Number 10, the coach will initiate programs for youth development. Now, this is a bit somehow, because we have technical department in Nigeria Football Federation, and this should basically be their job, unless the Nigeria Football Federation, they are now giving the manager the power to also oversee our age grades and also the youth teams. But aside that, I think Erichel needs to focus on the Super Eagles, or maybe the under 23. He needs to have his focus on that, leave the youth team. So developing initiating programs for youth development and all that, it is not in your place. That's why we have a technical department in the Nigeria Football Federation. Number 11, provision for the coach to travel, watch, monitor, and engage players of the national teams abroad. This should not even be a big deal. I don't know why we're even talking about it. You see the coach of England, Thomas Tuchel, he moves around, goes from stadium to stadium, trying to watch teams, trying to watch the England players and all of that, to see how they are performing. So it is not out of place, for him to actually travel. It should be in his contract that will provide you with everything you need for the logistics, so that you can travel and watch these players. And then number 12, provision for the manager to travel to watch the local league to identify potential players that will be integrated into senior national team A, and also the under 23, under 20, and under 17. As I said, he should focus on the Super Eagles and maybe the under 23. Leave the under 20, under 17 alone. It is not your job. So we have the technical team. It is their job to actually do all of these things and get managers into these positions. So, but it is a normal thing. What is that? Providing with logistics to travel around the country. That should not be a big deal, and there's nothing outrageous about this. Number 13, no interference in team selection and players call-up. I am 100% in support of this, because in recent time we've had political players that have been infused into the team. Most of them, they don't even have anything to offer the team, but because they know somebody that knows somebody, they will now sneak them into the team. You understand? Everybody has a slot. Please, I have 2 slots. I'll get my players into the team, and then I don't know what they do with that. But I think the manager should be allowed to make his team selection with no interference, have player call-ups with no interference, so that when he doesn't perform, when he doesn't meet up with the target and goal, you can now comfortably sack him or call him to order, because you didn't interfere. But when you keep on bringing in players and interfering in team selection, if the manager is not doing well, he will blame you. He will say that you are the cause, because you wanted to bring in players and you interfered and brought in your own players, and he had to use your own players. So we should not even make it a big deal. The manager should be in charge of team selection and player call-up. Number 14, the NFF has to issue a working contract for my staff. It is not out of place. If these staff are helping him to achieve his result, helping him to do well in his job and all of that, it is not out of place for him to ask for a contract, because contract means that they are contracted to the NFF. At least they get paid for their job, and they see themselves as people working for the Nigeria Football Federation. It is not out of place, depending on the agreement. Number 15, salary needs to be paid on or before 30th of every month. I think this is very important. He wants his salary to be paid like Alawi, for those that did NYC, on or before 30th, so that he will plan himself. It's not in news that in recent time, the Nigeria Football Federation, they are known for owing managers their salary. So he wants his salary to be paid on or before 30th, which is good enough. There is nothing bad about it. Me, I can decide to tell my employers how I want my salary to be paid. So it's part of the contract. Number 15, Okay, number 16, bonus and allowance as per federation structure. Not a big deal. I don't see anything outrageous about this. Based on the structure of the federation, that is how he's going to be getting his bonuses and his allowance. So we should not even be talking about this. It's not outrageous. Number 17, request to include my PA in the bonus and allowance structure. No, it is not a must. I think it's based on how NFF see your PA and whoever is working for you. It's not a must because the person is your PA. You are the one that brought the person. The NFF employed you, not your PA. So it is up to the NFF to decide, okay, we want to include your PA in the structure for the bonus and allowance and everything. But aside that, it is not a must and it shouldn't be pain, or shove the throat of NFF. So for me, it's something they can discuss about. And then number 18, which has been making so many people shout all week. Proposed salary for $130,000 every month. The amount included all my technical staff and PA. I don't really have a problem with this salary of a thing. $130,000 is actually huge. But when you break it down, it is not really that much. Currently, according to report, he's earning around $50,000, right? So that $50,000, based on this provision, we assume that is from this $50,000 he's paying his technical staff and of course his PA, you understand, who are helping him to also do the job. So now demanding $130,000 means it is still from this place that he will pay himself and pay the people working for him. The point is to identify if the technical staff and the PA, all of them, do they contribute enormously to the good job he's doing and the team. If they contribute, then they should negotiate. It's all about negotiation. At least, even if they don't pay him up to $130,000, they should negotiate and add something on that $50,000 so that he can have something to take home. And also, the other people working for him can also have something to take home at the end of the month. So I think it's negotiable. And the last but not the least, monthly meeting with all the national team coaches. There is nothing big. So at the end of the day, when you take a look at this 19-point proposal, there is nothing extraordinary about it. These are normal things that you get in Senate Climb. These are normal things that a manager should have. These are normal things that should be happening in a federation. But I don't know why it's becoming a big deal right here. And that is because maybe we don't do things the way we ought to do them. But as it is, we hope to see how the NFF will tackle this, because Eric Shell, no doubt, is a fantastic manager. But many of the things that he wrote here, most of the things that he wrote here are still negotiable. I don't know what you think about this 19-point proposal. Do well to drop your own take in the comment section.